Howdy, Veshzan here, and I'll be taking you through my ST running down guide. So before we get started, make sure you have both invulnerabilities memmed and death piece memmed. You can also have feign death as well, just for a bit of extra safety. So to begin with, I'll be talking about potions. You want to have your hot potions, your direct heal potions, and your 2 resist potions. So for buffs, make sure you get Ago, get resistance buffs, get So. That's the important stuff. Alright, so let's get started. So there's going to be 2 gargoyles here that we need to get rid of, so kill them or get someone to pull them away, and then there's 2 more behind the door. They cause a lot of problems when just playing around trying to do this by myself, so it's just easy to get rid of them and to avoid damage to begin with. Alright, so on to a real run now. So as you can see, golems, I've already killed them on my ult because this is test server. And what I'll be looking for here is to run straight through the middle of this opening. There are 2 mobs either side of it, and then what I want to do is beeline straight for the ramp. I want to hug the right hand side or the left hand side going up this, just to be as far away from this mob as possible. As you can see though, it stuns me and I get a little bit fucked up here. It's a little bit unfortunately. On this run I did have quite a lot of bad RNG on stuns, but as you can see it's still doable in that regard. So we're approaching the library now. There are a lot of caster mobs here, and this is where the resistances are needed. You can go to the right here, but sometimes it's better just to hug the left and sneak by, because if you run straight to the right, you run into that mob that's standing right there, and he can hit you. So coming up right now is a spot I don't recommend FDing, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Because of all the caster mobs in here, and then the fact that the spectres will aggro on you, it results in you just having a hard time getting FD off. As you can see, there's a corpse from a previous attempt where I tried to FD here. It's a very high risk spot to FD, which is why I don't like it. I think you're better off just running all the way down to the bottom of this, past the mini boss, and there's a giant dragon statue, and FDing there because it's much safer. Alright, so let's continue on now. I recommend getting as much height as you can, which is also why levitate's important for this. This allows you to not take as much melee damage from the spectres if you're down on their level. They have a weird pathing thing when they get aggroed here as well. They will be casting on you, so this is where the resistance is important. So coming up is the mini boss that's just going to spawn. This is the one where you definitely want one of your helpers to come and tag out. He does harm touch. I think I get harm touch in this clip as well. So you want to head towards this dragon statue. This is where I FD. It's pretty safe and it buys you enough time to get it off even if you fail. So either you can do it on top of this or do it behind it. I recommend FDing around here. It's a good little safe spot to med up and recover potion timers right here. This next bit will be where we'll be using our first DA. It's important that you do this one though. You'll be running through mobs and they have a really good chance to stun you. So I get to the corner, I DA, and then I just run. So we're going to go to the 3rd turning here, or 3rd pillar, and go through the invisible wall. So you can see from that I took quite a few melee hits, but I was invulnerable, so it's okay. And there's a really good safe spot around here. Click off DA, FD, reset aggro. So this is the same as the previous ramp, where we'll just be running down, trying to get as much height as possible. There are a couple more mobs on this, and on this one I kind of went a little bit too soon before FD had reset. So at the bottom of this ramp you can reset as well. One of these little square things is empty, so there's no mobs just before the mini boss. This mini boss is a lot easier than the previous one. Doesn't harm touch, and there's a bit of bad pathing around here which allows you to easily get by him. So the next part is all the drakes. On test server, on live they are golems, and the golems are much easier than the drakes. So for this mini it's pretty easy. You can just hug a wall and run straight past him. He passed really weird, which you should see in a second. Yeah, and he doesn't even hit me. So this is the Drake room. It's a little bit scary. There's a couple ways to do this, and I'm going to show you one, and then in a minute I'll show you the other. So I'm going to beeline straight for this pillar. If you can get on top of the pillar, even better. If not, get to the corner, DA off, and this is important. These Drakes are really nasty. They like to hit you from miles and stun. That's pretty close. So what you want to do is you want to run through, and you want to get to this grate thing. You want to open this grate, go down a little bit, and then FD. You don't want to move too much down into this water because the drakes have a habit of warping. At this point you've pretty much made it though, so I'm going to show you the next strategy that I used. So on this one I'm going to be running to the door, I'm going to be DAing, and I'm going to run straight for the grate. I believe this does require a focus effect to be able to do this, extend duration or something. So I haven't actually tested this on live, but this is something that I could do on test server. I really only think you need to do this when it comes to these drakes on live currently. They're golems, they're much slower and much easier to deal with. I would recommend running to the side and then DAing like I first showed you. But as long as you can make it to this gate, get FD off, you're fine. Even if you're above it, you can just like wait for aggro to drop, open it, run down a little bit. So now we're going to be moving on to the sewers. At this point you're pretty much home 3. Make sure you drop aggro completely here. Like I said earlier, drakes have a habit of warping in this water. And from here it's just running past one drake, dropping down, FDing. If you are going to get past the final arbiter, make sure someone tags him, runs him away. If not, you could wait for DA timer there. He's not too bad to get past. Closing thoughts would probably be, I think an SK is better to be a little buddy running, mostly because they can cling in darkness mobs off you and then they can taunt, whereas a monk will just attack it or run through it and then proximity aggro will switch it to you. And that can be a little bit of a detriment to you. So make sure if you are running with a buddy, you just keep an eye on where they're at and what they're aggroing, just so it doesn't blow back onto you and you take more damage than you need to. Thanks for watching and good luck out there.